Hello and good morning. My name is Bruce Martin and thank you for joining our second of many informative live chat broadcasts.
Hello and good morning. My name is Bruce Martin.
Coming directly to you from destinations from all over the globe. We are just having everyone join just now, so just waiting for a few more to join. Travel Gossip and Hangout Holidays have teamed up to bring you a factual and informational real-time broadcast that you can share the content with your guests and customers. On Monday, we're in Ibiza, and today we're in the Canary Islands with a much better connection, as I think you'll find. And on Friday, we're going to be in Zante. So I hope you can join us for that at 11 o'clock. We'll be hosting lots of these broadcasts from local experts and businesses and travel operators in holiday destinations all around the world. So keep your eyes peeled for our future broadcasts. In the last few days, we have asked you to pose questions that we can ask our resort reps, and hopefully we'll get through as many as we can today. Please comment on the live feed in Travel Gossip, and your comments will appear to us, and we'll be able to put those to Elaine, our expert, who's going to be joining us very soon. Before we head off to the Canaries, wouldn't that be nice? I'm just going to hand over to David Henderson, who's partner and director of Hangout on Holiday, and he'll give you a very brief insight in how you and your guests can take advantage of their pioneering platform. How are you, David? You okay?
Very well, thanks, Bruce. Although I'm still not sure about the weather here. It's a little bit unpredictable in Windsor. So bear with us if the signal starts to pixelate again. As it did anyone who saw the Ibiza session on Monday. So bear with us.
Today's going to be a good day.
Okay. So yeah, as Bruce mentioned, I'm a partner in Hangout and Holiday. I'm with my colleague Paul Stanier, whose name some of you might recognise as the original founder of Holiday Taxis. We were overseas reps together in Corfu last century. In fact, most of our colleagues in Hangout are also ex-Med Beach and ski reps, including our overseas director, Sam Lupson, who not only coordinated this session with Bruce, but whose name some of you might recognise as the creator of the Facebook group Stories of a Holiday Rep. So it's no surprise that with our collective travel pedigrees that we've managed to source a growing community of locals around the Med and a little bit beyond, who are mostly ex-reps, including Elaine, who you'll see shortly, in the Canaries, Fuerteventura to be precise, who, after running the show out there for Jet2 and others for many years, now has a team of expert locals working with us across the Canaries, and is naturally very knowledgeable and extremely passionate about her islands. So we really do have an appreciation for the challenges and opportunities of not only independent travellers heading to destinations, but for customers of travel agents, tour operators, villa operators, and hotels in resorts, which is why we're keen to showcase our app to as many people across the travel ecosystem as possible. So there are three key messages that have evolved around our platform. One, resort content. Two, as a communications channel. Three, as a commercial platform. Number one, resort content. We essentially aggregate and display quality resort videos and images of ours or an operator's recommended places like bars, restaurants, clubs, beaches, local amenities, and emergency services. And in addition, our pioneering app is the perfect platform, we believe, to showcase a comprehensive portfolio of in-app bookable experiences, trips, attractions, and events, all which can now be on sale 24/7, even prior to departure. Number two, our communications channel. We strongly believe, and we're seeing, that travellers are increasingly demanding better comms channels from their agents or operators, and our live chat functionality throughout the app was specifically designed to accommodate this. Think of this as also as a kind of locate and inform broadcast channel to alert or update your customers who are either in resort or maybe en route, either about another local outbreak of COVID-19 or in the highly likely event of yet another tour operator or airline failure. Number three, a commercial platform. Regardless of whether you have a co-branded or your own branded version of our app, once your customers have downloaded and checked into the resort, we then have the opportunity to help influence and capture a share of your customers' in-resort spend, which, as we know, is often at least twice the price of the holiday booking. So we essentially capture their in-app bookings of experiences, trips, and events, and return a share of those commissions back to our agent or operator partners. So in summary, whether you're an independent agency or part of a multiple, we can work with you to offer your customers a sophisticated but easy to use app for their trip that is content relevant with a live chat comms channel using our locals or an operator's reps, and where you can benefit financially from a share of your customers' previously unattainable in-resort spend. There you go. On that basis, I shall hand back to Bruce. Hope that was helpful.
Thank you very much, David. Now we kind of come to the questions part of today's broadcast, and we're going to head over live to Fuerteventura to meet Elaine Turner, who's waiting for us on the other end of the line. Hello, Elaine. How are you doing?
Good morning, Bruce. How are you?
Very well. You're coming over nice and clear, which is good to see today.
Good, good, good. I'm just so that you know that there is no fake screen behind me. This is you this morning from the Canary Islands.
Very
and
nice.
Of course, we're starting the day off with a shot. We don't do coffee here, we do shots.
Cool. I wouldn't expect anything less.
No.
So how is it out there? What's been happening? Tell us a little bit about the Canaries and Fuerteventura and how they are coping with the current situation.
At the moment, we can see that we've obviously, more people are starting to come. We've got quite a few different nationalities that have already arrived. Obviously, the roads are getting busier, bars are getting busier, and beaches as well. Over in the Canaries, we've had a very good reaction to the lockdown that was done across Spain. They've taken it very seriously. Coming out of that, they're also put quite a few regulations in place so that the traveller as well as the local community are in a safe, situation as much as possible. So there's a few things, obviously a few questions today that we're going to answer so that the people that are coming over to these beautiful islands, that we love tourism, we want them, we need them as well. But they come with the understanding of how it works here, and they can have, that before they get on the plane, so they're all prepared, and then they know when they get in their resort what to expect. Okay,
great. Let's dive into the first question, which we've been asked, is regarding masks. So masks, when and where do you need to wear masks in the Canary Islands? And are there any exceptions?
Okay, so the initial mask situation will be before you actually arrive here. So you will be asked to, when you're checking in your local airport, you will be asked to, at the check-in, to be wearing a mask. We are advising, most of the airlines are advising their travellers to come already with masks that they have for the duration of their stay when they travel, okay? Because they'll be asked, first of all, to do the check-in. They'll need to wear them on the plane. They'll also, when they're going through the airport, they'll have to wear them also on the transport to take them to the hotel, and also when they're checking in at the hotel. Now, any situation where, obviously we've got a lot of open space in Canaries, we've got very big beaches, but anywhere where you're going to be in an enclosed environment, you will be asked to wear a mask. This will also be enforced when you're out in public, outside of the hotel, by the local authorities. So it is something that you need to come, I would suggest that you come prepared for that. And obviously respect that this is what we have put in place. The hotels have worked very hard to make sure that everybody's got social distancing. At the pools, there'll be less sunbeds, but there will be social distancing. So the mask is something that will become the new fashion statement of 2020. You can get them in, or you don't have to have the surgical ones. You can have all your funky ones and everything else, but you do need to make sure that you're bringing those with you when you are traveling into the Canary Islands.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen the mask as an extension to bikinis. We've got like three matches. That'd be quite...
You can have it matching your outfits. I think that's fantastic. I haven't quite got to that stage yet, but I'm thinking about it. The exceptions to the rules would also be something that would need to be put in place when you're still in your place of origin. So people that have asthma, any lung problems that are on oxygen or anything like that would need to speak to their doctor before they travel, to then have a format in place where they would carry paperwork with that stating clearly that they have valid medical reasons for not being able to wear the mask in certain situations.
Okay, great. Thank you. And with regards to hotels, what do you understand the situation is in hotels, in particular food and food service? What do you know about that at the moment?
So obviously with the all-inclusive, there are still all-inclusive hotels that are opening. What they've put in place is more of a structure so that the buffet is then in individual portions. So it's easy for the person to go up and take an individual portion and go back. There won't be the big trays where you're self-serving. It will be all laid out in an individual buffet. The same things, you'll have your salad station, you'll have your cold meats and your hot foods and everything else, but it will be in a more individual plated situation. You've also got with that in common areas as well. So your pool area, there will be the sunbeds, as I said before, but they will be spaced out. There will be a certain amount of activities, but they will be outdoor activities. Also, I noticed the other day that when Rich was on, somebody asked about kids clubs. So I've looked into that a little bit further. The kids clubs, they will be having kids clubs. Again, the numbers will be reduced in some situations, but they will also be doing it outside. So obviously with this wonderful weather that we have in Canaries, it is very easy to do a lot of outdoor activities more than the inside. So there'll be no contact sports available. Gyms are still closed and spa facilities as well are mainly closed.
And hotel pools, are they all open to swimming as normal?
Yes, the pools are open. The lifeguards are still, they have to have the lifeguards, but they will be controlling a little bit more. Inflatables and things like that, again, will not be something that will be permitted, but they will have the pools open to the customers that are obviously in the hotel. Yeah.
Good. Just on the subject of swimming and pools, which is just it's going outside of hotels, and particularly to one of my favourite places, Siam Park.
Yes,
it's a very popular destination, and we loved it last year when we went. What's happening there with Siam Park? Because that's a very different kind of setup to a hotel, isn't it? So what do you know?
it is. They have got, because obviously this is a new situation for everybody, and everybody is trying to put all the regulations in place. It's been a lot of work for these big places. Obviously, a water park, hundreds of people that come in daily. So what I would suggest on things like that, because they are updating at the moment. They are updating their website and their information. So I would advise people to go to these special situations like the zoo, the water park. I would advise them to go onto the websites and double check what they have in place, because we're finding, for an example, some hotels have got menus that are on a QR system. They don't want paper. They don't want to give menus if you have a like a half board situation where they would come in the evening and give you a menu. That won't be available. They're trying to lessen everything that is a contact. So again, it's a very individual. I've done quite a sweep of sort of like 3-star, 4-star, 5-star hotels. But you'll find, I would suggest to look into what that hotel is saying as an individual hotel as well before traveling, because there's quite a different, there's not a set rule per se, because every hotel is different and it's, the capacities are different and everything else. Siam Park as well, they've just publicised a lot of information that for me to tell you all the information right now, but it would be I would suggest log on, have a look, and then from there people will know, because they'll be updating it weekly. When we start getting the tourists in quite large numbers, then obviously they might have to tweak that. They might have to notify again. So it's an ongoing live, as we are now, it's an ongoing live situation where patience and it's needed in certain aspects to understand that we're all trying to do our best out here to make it safe.
Okay, thank you. How about going outside of hotels? What's the situation with excursions on the Canary Islands at the moment?
Okay, so the excursions, again, if you're going on a bus trip, there will be bus trips to do your island tours and things like this. Again, you will be asked, if you turn up to the bus trip without a mask, you might be refused on that excursion on the day. If you're out and about when you get to where you're going, you know, and you're out and it's in the fresh air and everything, then obviously you won't need to have your mask on. If it includes lunch and you're going into a situation where there's a lunch, again, it will be plated. They will have organised that with the restaurant or the bar where you're stopping at. The tables will be separated as they need to be. Obviously, when you're eating, you won't be wearing your mask, which is a bit difficult. But they will be, you know, your tour guide will inform you before you take that excursion, every excursion, what's in place for that excursion. So you will have all the information that you need you know, before you book these excursions, but you will be asked to, on buses, any form of transport, to wear your mask.
Now, has it affected? We had a question the other day, which is more to do with Ibiza, I guess, which was about boat parties. Are there boat excursions still going on? Do you know?
Yeah, there are. I mean, we don't have this same type of. I wish. No, we don't have that same type of excursion really in the Canaries. There are a few in Tenerife, but from a sort of a party where everybody's free to run around the boat and dance, and you know, dancing is still not allowed in bars or nightclubs as well. Some of the nightclubs still aren't opening. Your 6 o'clock in the morning nightclubs, very difficult. Obviously, mixing people, music, alcohol. How are you going to control that? So that's still an environment out here where a lot of the nightclubs are not open at this time. You've got bars, you know, you've got your outdoor, obviously with the weather, your outdoor terrace areas, they're all open. They've been open for quite a while.
Okay, and then because obviously with the inside and clubs, it can't do social distancing. What is the social distancing in Canaries? Is it the same as the rest of Spain? Is it 2 meters?
Yeah. Yes, it's still in the same as Spain. I mean, we're governed by Spain, by the Spanish rules, but obviously, like the Balearics, the Canaries have their own government as well, and they have a few maybe different stipulations that they've put in place, but the basics are still the basics. Yeah,
okay, cool.
We go with Spain.
So so the bars are open, but it's just they're not open as late, and you just got to be careful with with social distancing.
Yeah. This is it. They're not open so late. You're not going to get, again, you know, Canaries. Yes, in some of the resorts we do have a lot of nightlife. You know, Fuerteventura is not one of the main, what I would call hubs for, you know, raving all night and things like that. But we have at the moment all the bars are open again, and daytime. You know, I would say up until about 11 o'clock. Everything is open, and you can, you know, the tables are where I am here. Just give you a little panorama. Where I am here, you know, the tables are all set out, so you've got that distancing. That's their responsibility to make sure that the environment that people are coming to is with the rules and regulations that they've put in place.
Great, brilliant, amazing, great insight, Elaine. Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
We haven't got any more questions coming in from the viewers at the moment, but I know that they can get in contact with you via the app. Just to ask any live information from you in the cities that we haven't covered. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, it is, and I really would, from a travel agent point of view, I really would. The World Wide Web is a wonderful thing. People, again, specific hotels, if you've got customers that are asking, you know, those questions, the hotels are announcing what they've got in place, what they haven't. For an example, there's something on here that I did. Yes, some of the luggage rooms, for an example, are not open to be able to put your luggage in. There's certain things like that. The RFC, the in-resort flight check-in, is not in place at the moment in the destinations in Canaries. You know, so there's a lot more. I could sit here for about an hour. I think we'd lose everybody, but I could sit here for about an hour and reel off a lot more. But I would say go onto the sites, look, check the airlines, check if it's a tour operator, check your hotels, have a look specifically at what they've put in place, and the information is readily available to everybody before they travel.
Okay. Have you noticed the resorts picking up in terms of people there?
Oh, yes. I've been a bit road rage this morning while I was trying to get here with the tourists doing a little, you know, looking at the view. So we've noticed, I mean, we were on full lockdown here. So we've come out of it, and it was quite a nice little community here. And then we have noticed in the last sort of week that it's picking up again, which is wonderful. More shops are starting to open because obviously your residential people aren't going to be going into Zara every day and doing buying clothes. They're not going to be going into some of the restaurants which are tourist orientated. So they haven't opened until they knew, and we had dates of when we could open and when the tourism would start to come back. So it's like watching this growth again of everything. You walk down the street one day, the next day, oh, that's open, that's open. So it's coming much more back to life, which is a lovely thing to see. It really is.
That's really good to hear. On that positive note, I think we'll call it a day. And thank you very much for your time, Elaine. You've been amazing.
Always here to help.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much. So thanks to everyone watching, and I hope you found that useful. Certainly better connection than today, and that will obviously continue in the future. We've got another broadcast coming to you from Zante on Friday at 11. So I hope you can make it for that one. But in the meantime, have a great day, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.